This is a multi-part video series consisting of picture-in-picture footage of Arma 3 gameplay from both the Game Master's perspective and the participants of the mission. As always, thanks for watching. We hope you enjoyed the series as much as we enjoyed making it. If you like watching these episodes, maybe you'd like to join in too. Our team is looking for new members. Just click on the annotation on the screen or visit mgamers.com/Arma Recruit. We'd love to have you join us. Okay, so this mission's pretty basic. You've been called out to Chinaris, and you are here to capture a high-value target, which is one of the scientist's advisors, and actually the final advisor for the scientist that we're going after. His last known whereabouts is at a camp to the northwest of the main airfield, or the main military airfield, which is actually marked on your maps. Your approach is via helicopter. I'm assuming Conan is flying. Is that correct?
Yep.
Okay. You're going to want to establish an LZ, and then that LZ will then become your respawn point. In the event of your death, you will spawn at the LZ and have to reinforce with your guys. If your LZ becomes overrun with enemy forces for whatever reason, I'll drop in an alternate LZ just to make things fair, so you're not corpse dragging. As far as the area is concerned, you're going to want to do aerial reconnaissance before landing, so the LZ that you choose now may not actually be the LZ that you end up at. There are a series of airports on the terrain as well. All of those airports are manned with enemy forces. If they detect the helicopter coming inbound, you can expect a response. Same thing with the airport to the northwest. You want to give that airport a very wide berth. So wherever your LZ is, it should be far enough away to not be detected by the airport, and also far enough away so that the members of the camp do not hear you on approach. So you're going to be hoofing it a little bit from your LZ. The area is known to be both mined and trip flared. If obviously mines will kill you, but trip flares will immediately notify any AI in the area because they do launch a flare up in the sky. So if you trip one, you can expect to be discovered. The trip flares are visible on the ground, so you will be, since it is a snowy land, it should be pretty easy to pick them out. Visibility is extremely limited. Mission start time is 6:30 a.m. By 7 a.m., it should be relatively daylight at that point, but the visibility will still be quite poor because of the level of fog and snow that is falling. So, any questions about any of
that? Like game specifics or specifics about the mission itself?
Whatever you have a question for.
So who is, I understand it's one of Dr. Jones's advisors we're going after. Do we have any specific details on who that is?
He is a CSAT commander. He is dressed in military fatigues. For game purposes, he is not armed, but he is a CSAT officer. He is wearing a beret and wearing a CSAT camo, so you'll be able to identify him that way.
Okay.
What color beret?
It is a charcoal beret.
Do we have any idea how many personnel are at this camp?
We do not, because of the extremely poor visibility. That's why you guys are doing your own reconnaissance. Given the fact there is a Russian military airstrip nearby, you can expect, if shit does hit the fan, you can expect reinforcements approaching from that area.
That airfield that's immediately southeast of the camp?
That's correct.
Is the camp part of a larger enclosed area, or is the airfield separate from that?
The airfield's separate. The airfield's actually fenced in with checkpoints to get into the airport. The camp itself is actually outside the airport grounds.
Okay. Are there other bases or fobs anywhere near the camp?
No, the only bases that are on this in this area are the airports that you see that are listed on the map.
Okay. Do you know what type of reinforcements we can expect? Will they have frickin' APCs or tanks or GAZs or what?
There is armor in the terrain, but it's in the far southeastern base. So if armor is actually deployed, it would take them a considerable amount of time to get to you. The primary reinforcement is typically infantry, light vehicles, and helicopters.
When you say helicopters, do you mean mostly like hips, or do they also have attack birds?
And mostly hips. Attack birds are not out of the question, but it's mostly transport and hips. Yep.
And our intel on the camp, how recent is it?
This is the longest snowstorm in history for the area. It has actually been going on for more than 4 weeks. Intel is about 4 weeks old. We do know the camp doesn't go anywhere; it's always there. We do know that they've been building structures in the camp to make it a more permanent installation. But it is primarily a camp slash recon position slash communications area. It's always been that. As far as number of troops in the area, that is unknown at this time because of the duration that it's been since there's been reliable intel.
Okay, stand by.
You can expect that the bulk of the forces that are in that area are at the airport, not the camp.
All right, Vetter, are you looking at the map?
Yes.
Okay, what do you recommend from your personal experience?
Okay, on this thing, I'm only seeing 3 airfields. Is that correct?
There are 3 major airfields, yes. There are smaller fields that are not listed on the map, but those are of no concern for the purposes of this mission.
Okay, and do we know roughly how far away we need to stay from these major airfields to avoid interference?
You're going to stay about a kilometer out at least.
Okay. I was thinking we could push up the left side. We could stay well away from most of those towns on the west, and then probably insert right around 014814. There appears to be a clearing there. Or we could go further away from the road and do freaking 009 or 807.
How far away do we want to be to hump in?
I'd prefer to get as close as possible.
Well, I mean, each one of these grid squares is an entire kilometer.
Right.
Why don't we come up the east side, follow the shoreline up until about 1378, then cut in, keeping the hillsides to our left, come in between peaks 396 and 365, and then shuttle a little bit northwest and land in the draw right in between 348 and 367. And then you can use 367, depending on visibility, to view the camp. It's going to give us our best vantage point in the immediate area, and then we can skirt through.
Okay. It looks like we have to watch out for that light tower immediately northwest of the Nimitz. But I like that idea. We have to watch out for those towns, though. You go ahead and mark that idea on the map.
Yeah, if I remember how to use map controls.
You just double click, and from there it's much simpler than Arma 2. You can change the type of mark, the color, the direction, and text on it.
Also, a place to look is right here at Devil's Castle. It's really high up. As an alternate, maybe. You can see everywhere from there.
It is kind of a conspicuous place, though, that castle. But we can consider it. Also, with Hill 367, there's no road directly leading to it, so it would make reinforcements a little more difficult to reach it. All right, Conan, are you tracking those yellow dots?
Yes, I am.
That's just the rough idea.
Yeah, looks good to me.
We might, if we can. It looks like there's no towns north of the camp. We might be able to orbit north of the camp to get a little better look at the at it with the camera.
Yep.
How good a zoom do you have with those cameras?
I think it's got 10x on the bird, right?
Yeah, it's pretty good.
What kind of view is it? IR, thermal?
You got all the
IR.
above.
Yeah, all the above. IR, thermal.
Okay, I mean we can also use that ridge line that's right there that we'll be dropping into to shield us as well.
Yep.
All right. One thing we'll need to note is that Petrovka is going to be directly in between our OP and the camp. So we'll need to maneuver around that.
Yeah, and yeah, the dots are right over another town too, so I'll have to go around that.
Oh, yeah, I see that now. Yeah, I'd skirt to the left.
Yeah. Well, there's a town there. Well, that's one huge town. I have to skirt to the right. Or no, I can go
You
between.
could
I can
go.
go between the town and Devil's Castle. I just have to be low.
Yeah,
Yeah.
or you could. Yep.
Yeah.
The most perilous entrance I think is going to be when we go ashore. When we go feet dry, that's going to be pretty picky, but
Yep.
make sure to set waypoints for yourself. All right, is everyone familiar with the plan? Know what we're going to do?
Yeah, I'm just setting waypoints right now.
I think METTC dependent, once we reach Hill 367, we will, right now I think the best course of action will be to go west from there and then drop in on the camp from the north. Either in between Hill 385 and 362, or we can scale up 385 and approach from the high ground. which might be our better option.
I'd push south from our LZ toward basically in line with the camp and Devil's Castle, and then come up that hill.
All right. That puts us pretty close to the airfield and the outer fence of it, so we'll have to be careful with that.
Well, I mean, if we go to point 203, that junction right there, that'll give us enough clearance from that town, and it'll put us on the very far side of the hill from the camp.
Right. Okay.
Follow the basic line. I just put some asterisks where I need to make a few adjustments
All right.
for towns and whatnot.
Also, remember, we're going to want to take the commander alive if we can. If we can't, we can't. That's fine. Anybody have a body bag for that instance?
I'll grab
If
one.
you do not, put one on the bird, please.
I've marked down a line in blue as what we should use for our infill route from the LZ walking, and then I'm about to put a point in red for or correction, I'll use a different color than red, but on hilltop 367 that we should use to observe if we can. We'll have trouble seeing over the top of hill 386, but it at least will give us an idea of what lays down in that valley when we have to cross that open ground.
Right. Also of note, Devil's Castle is sitting on 396, so that would put us completely above the camp. So if we fly in and we determine it's not 367 is not kosher, we can divert to Devil's Castle if necessary.
Well, wouldn't that be occupied, or is that going to be unoccupied?
It depends. When we fly by it, we can check it out.
Yeah, because if that's unoccupied, then let's take that to begin with.
All right. Anybody have any questions?
Do me a favor. Take a look at Feet Wet, where I'm coming in at. See my first asterisk there, and then my second one. Should I go north or should I go northwest? If I go northwest between those two towns, it's pretty tight.
I'd say go north.
All right.
Give you a little bit extra space, and then you
The
can
hell-
divert over that gas station.
Hell, if we wanted to, we don't even have to screw with those towns. We can come feet dry way south. We can basically skirt around this little island and follow the mountaintops on in.
There's lots of little towns in there, though.
I'm seeing a whole bunch of gas stations. That's about it.
You talking around 306?
Stand by. I'm going to mark another dotted line here real quick in black.
Oh, up through that way?
Yeah, that could work too.
That'll take us basically right past that whole screw up of coastal towns right there.
It does around 118766. It puts us in between a factory and a small village. But
well, we're not going to have. It's not going to be clean any way we go.
Yeah, it's not going to be ideal.
So
yeah,
we're just going to have to take our chances. So let's just choose a route, delete all the extra dots that we've got, and go with it.
What do you think is best, pilot?
The one with the dots has got the most direct route, so I'll take my asterisk off the water, and then just combine it with my other ones.
Go ahead and amend my dots as much as you want to, so you've got a clear path that you like.
That looks fine to me.
All right, does anybody have any questions?
What color is the boathouse at Hertford?
See-through because it's non-existent. Anything beyond that? No? All right.
Why is the booze gone?
You drank it all
I did.
because of
You
your mommy
didn't buy
issues.
enough?
All right, let's load up.
Good luck, gentlemen. Game on, we're ready.
I want to get that camera.
It goes all the way to 27x.
Nice.
Dude, if that thing goes to 27x, let's stop, like hover over the castle if it's empty and search.
All right. I really hope there's no glass in my booze.
And away they go.
Coming up to the first turn.
Coming up on feet dry.
Roger, I'm scanning the coastline. I see, looks like an APC. Yeah, BMP off to our right.
Yeah, it's a little too bright for that. Fog is producing some kind of strange graphics glitches there. It's kind of weird.
Hey, linger over the castle for a bit.
Do what?
Linger over the castle for a bit.
Okay.
Pull forward to the castle. Hover right on top of the castle.
Got it.
Area appears to be unoccupied. Can you get up over the castle so I can see into the camp?
It's the highest point.
Yeah, get up over this so I can see into the camp. Alright, my visibility's not that good.
I'm not seeing anyone in here.
No, I don't see anybody here either. Alright, so let's go to our primary LZ. Actually, I say again,
Do what?
let's go ahead and drop down inside the castle.
Okay.
So they're going to use the castle.
Hang on, I got a
I got a
vehicle
Vic.
bearing right in front of us. 255. Looks like a civilian vehicle. Looks like it just drove up into the castle. Let's go to the primary LZ. And let's try and do this as quickly as possible.
Coming up on the LZ. don't see anyone here.
Neither do I. You hear that?
Waving off.
We are taking fire.